in the water. Wade in the waters, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Yo, what's going on? It's Omar J. We are back with another episode of the Unscripted the podcast, Unscripted Convos, the podcast, because I totally forgot that. So we're actually calling it Unscripted Convos, the podcast. But anyway,
as you can see, totally unscripted.
Totally unscripted. You see me, I say. Once again, my name is Omar J, and alongside me is my co-host,
Marky.
You know what I mean? And we are back with the illustrious, the gorgeous.
Period.
I can't believe me, I should let us see this on camera. The Dolly.
Period. The Christian Dolly.
Look here, I will never say this in public. But we just say it in public. Like, it is so fitting for her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Like, you just have to give her props.
Yeah.
You see me, I say.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we're back again with none other than our friend, Joedian Munroe. Another round of applause for our friend. Yeah, you know what I mean? We're not going to do an intro because we did that in the first episode. And if you want to know who she is and what she's about,
Pre the last one.
just pre the last episode. Trust me, you're going to pre the last episode. The last episode was a whole vibe.
Vibe.
Like it was a
Just
whole
vibes.
Just and vibe.
No plans, no lines, just vibes.
Just use the sound vibes.
Unscripted.
Totally unscripted.
Unscripted.
Alright, so before we jump in, before we continue the conversation that we're having, icebreaker.
Okay.
Zine?
Oh.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Totally unscripted.
Get some water.
What would be your what do you think is Jamaica's best chicken sandwich right now? Burger King chicken sandwich, Wendy's, Popeyes, KFC. Throwing Island Grill for fun, but Island Grill no count.
You're not going to taste that.
Tasty have a chicken. Oh yeah, Tasty have a bad piece of chicken sandwich still, you know.
Chicken sandwich.
Tasty.
By the way, this foul because we did just break a while ago. And we did it raw. We did it raw. And we did
Uncooked.
they need little seasoning.
Listen.
Sprinkle some salt, some pepper, some
Yeah, man.
thyme, some onion, some scallion.
Yeah, man.
Throw it together. Yeah, man. We did bust some gas a while ago. So we literally just went and got some food. We got a chicken sandwich. We're not gonna say the name of the chicken sandwich we'll get because
Yeah.
But it did good though.
If you want to sponsor.
If you want to sponsor it, just
My
link
gosh,
we up.
man.
Just link we up. But
Yeah.
by the way, there's just something about like when you're hungry, food just
Food
tastes
tastes better.
nice.
Yeah, man. When it warm.
When,
Boy.
oh,
Like
That's
it tastes,
the
but
one.
say no, I never did work before, but tonight, me
Yeah,
gonna put in a work, me
Hey,
gonna work in my back.
extra shift.
Extra
On
shit.
the night shift. Hey, alright.
A vibes right on the guys. Producer she is sick of weed.
Let me drink more water, y'all.
Yeah. You go first. Gentlemen, lead them.
Sure.
All right.
Strength before beauty.
All right.
The best chicken sandwich. So, back in the day, KFC used to do a double zinger, and you could have mixed the zinger with
Me if I tell you.
barbecue
Yes!
with the spice.
Hey!
Hey,
KFC, if you're listening to me,
Bring it back. Bring it back.
look here.
Bring it back.
No,
I'ma
look for the chicken crisis.
Yeah.
Just bring it back.
I'm-
We
I'm
end
I
this
just want to make
Right.
special mention to the snacker.
Yes.
When they have the money for buy a
The
zinger,
zinger. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they still hungry, you could have buy
Yeah,
two
yeah,
snacker
Yeah, man.
for $300 something.
man.
Yeah.
That's my best friend.
Yeah.
man. No,
Imagine
man.
they carry a girl from bus park.
Hey.
Period. Call the girl. She was saying, baby, my man just got me a
I'm a
snacker.
party way by no
I'm a
man.
party.
Snacker. Cause the party used to cost like about 70. By the time the snacker reach, party used to cost about $60-70.
Yeah.
You see me? But
No, baby.
snacker only was
We're going out tonight.
$1.50.
What's that?
Like,
We're going out tonight.
Where's if you live at Portmore, you know, say, I'm looking money if you buy a snacker, you know?
Look here now,
I'm
man.
looking money.
You have to find transportation on top of that, you know.
Hey. It's good. So yeah, man. So KFC, bring it back. Bring
Please.
the double zinger the way you can mix.
Please.
Bring it back. May I bless.
gosh.
May I beg you. But that for me was it. Me not see nothing else where
Double zinger was really But if I have to talk about it right now, I feel like if you're asking me tonight, the sandwich that I had tonight, I feel like it's the best sandwich in the world. But
Yo, hey, me not tell you that. When you're hungry,
Wendy's chicken Asiago sandwich.
Me not lie. Hey, yeah, hey. Yeah,
Wendy's anyway, they sponsor me. Anyway, the Wendy's sponsor me.
Look here.
The chicken Asiago sandwich there, it's gone.
Look here. Is my go-to sandwich at Wendy's?
Facts.
Like, if I go Wendy's, me know says a number 8 me I get.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Like,
It.
a number 8.
Bacon it, well, yes, a chicken sandwich, I'm sorry.
No,
Bacon it is a different
I
category.
see I got chicken sandwich with, and slap on some bacon on top of that.
Yeah, man, but man, I said bacon it with a different.
Yeah, man, that's a beef burger. Yeah,
different burger.
Yeah,
but
different
the
burger.
chicken, but you know, honorable mention to the zinger, the barbecue zinger from KFC. Big up yourself.
Look here. Currently, I think that Popeyes find it with them the chicken sandwich.
Yeah?
I feel like them
need to
find
try
it with
it.
it. Like
The new one that came on.
the new one that came out. Like not them regular like Cajun and Creole sandwich them. Just like the one with them dub as
Don't come in the
the
little
one with
buckets
the
on.
sachet.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
okay,
them
okay.
put
Yeah,
the
man,
bag
that's
and then
alright.
it have like a filing on the inside and then it come out now and little you know the same fries bag where Tasty would have give you the little white paper. Yeah man.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
feel
not
like
bad.
them find it.
Yeah?
However, for years, consistently, I talk about years, I have been eating the Tasty's chicken sandwich. So when you set some boops and try the chicken sandwich between a cocoa bread, bro.
I've never tried
Look
it.
here.
Look
You know,
here,
so the
man.
miracle. What make the sandwich good at the cocoa bread?
The cocoa bread.
Yeah, man. The
Right.
cocoa
Cocoa
bread.
bread.
The cocoa bread.
Look
man.
here. The chicken sandwich, they have a hole for me. So when you sit down and drop the chicken patty pan
I'm gonna try it later.
the cocoa bread and the cocoa bread butter well
Yeah,
and
man.
it warm.
Yeah, man.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man.
But right now, Popeyes find it. Popeyes, only need to step down the crunchiness on the chicken sandwich then,
Please,
please.
why my mouth fighting?
Why my mouth I got you buckle? Why me have to buckle the chicken sandwich? Why my gum them a bleed? Like why?
You know, that's how I kind of love Popeye sheep.
Like that's literally
Come
my
and tell
only
you.
problem with
But is
Popeyes
it-
right now.
That's the beauty of it. You can try multiple. You're not married to none. And speaking of marriage, there are
speaking
several
of
steps before you
marriage.
get there.
Several steps.
I like the shameless
Look here, you know?
side.
Look here.
Seamless.
I love that transition there. That transition there, man.
I'm a fire.
Yeah.
Like I said something else.
We thank the Lord for transition.
So we were touching on the few steps that you
Don't
have. You
kill
know?
me, don't kill me.
Producer, she's furious again. Yeah?
Guys, I'm so sorry
Boy.
for misbehaving.
But there are a few steps we're looking at, dating and just like what dating encapsulates.
Yeah, man. So
And you
let's
guys-
recap on that. So we what dating? What is dating? It is the intentional act of what? Finding out, what would it say? We not even remember.
No, but it is so intelligent.
It's so
Yeah.
intelligent.
Yeah.
Insert clip of what I said
man,
about dating.
Link it somewhere,
Like
Omar.
right
Link
there,
it, yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna drop it right here, so. Because I define dating as the intentional process of getting to know people for a romantic relationship. Whoa. Producer, she said dating is shopping around. I mean, she not wrong, you know. But
But yeah, that
it's more like eye shopping.
Window shopping.
Window shopping, that's what you call it. Yeah. It's more like window shopping. Add to your wish list.
But window shopping at like courts or
Window
window
shopping
shopping at Coronation Market. Because
Ooh.
are two different kind of window shopping.
Make we get into that. Because here one know, when you say Coronation Market, are you talking about coronation being like a certain set of people? Or are you talking about coronation being like a certain standard?
a certain standard because
Right.
alright, so if
What
you
are
go to
those
a
standards?
Coronation Market, right?
Where
You go
the
down there, you
woman
buy
go
onion, you
bring.
buy your carrot, you check to
Everybody
see what ripe
come
and what ready
feel
and
up,
what fit,
feel up.
But when you go courts and you see the mattress will cost 170,000.
I
Yeah.
said, don't sit down
Like
on
you
the
even
mattress.
have to ask them how much it costs.
Right, you're not even so
You don't know what it like. You know everything will be. It coming with all the description,
yeah,
the
exactly.
price,
You
how
not even
much it take if you take it on lease.
You know,
or-
I brush on it. So what is it? What is the shopping around that we're mimicking or paralleling dating to? Like,
Mm.
is it the Coronation Market or is it the courts?
Or is it the Sheen?
Oh Lord
Because the
Jesus.
city girls them out here
Oh, Lord
shopping pan Shein frequently, you know, dog. Look here. But even I look at Joedian now. Look here. People stop shop for man and for woman like saying shop on Shein. Because just because you can add to your wish list doesn't mean that everybody should be in your wish or in your list. You see me I say?
Word.
Like, and everybody for day in your prayers like that.
Come on, I go and wipe off the table. Like, I might drop that for the episode.
Right.
Yes, somebody.
Right.
No, but seriously, so
Dating or recapping.
dating. So recapping what dating is. We just insert the clip of what that was, and we had said the different stages of dating would have been interest, dating, relationship / courtship, and marriage. We kind of went into interest, what interest would look like, and we started to talk about dating in a godly way, but we didn't really get into the nitty-gritty of what that could practically look like. And as someone who is single,
Yeah, man, I met the young people them too. The young people
as
them
someone
take
who
the lead,
is
man.
single and who has been dating for quite some time now, about it's 2022 for about 2 years now. I guess I'll just go first. So for me, what dating looks like on a day-to-day basis, if I'm to date every other day or whatnot, or whenever I do date, and I acknowledge from before I even start talking that I'm a special person when it comes on to dating, because based on the stories that I've heard, not many women have experienced what this is like. So I'm going to date Jody.
Okay.
In this hypothetical situation. So let's do the whole interesting. Zine. So first, let's say, all right. Jody, because remember in the episode now, Jody makes herself present because women see the men first. Make themselves accessible. Women make themselves accessible first before we even see, before man them even see them.
Right.
You see me? So yeah, man, Jody do her makeup today and she come on the podcast and she make sure she our yeah, man, the whole ensemble and dolly up and all them thing there. You see me? I'm gonna say blouse and skirt, Jody, say you look good though.
Oh wow, thank you.
No, man, I say this in my head.
Oh.
But I have to say it out loud so the people them can hear.
Oh, okay.
So in my head, I say, blow, that be a hot, So yeah, all right. And based on my standards that I had listed in the previous episode, like, all right, cool. I know we can vibe with Jody. Yeah, she's a good friend. And I'm saying, I feel I can take interest in this. And when I said this, please, people, it's just like in the whole dynamic. All right. So say, so would I either message or call or whenever we meet, be like, Jody, hi, how are you doing?
I'm not doing bad.
I think you're a wonderful young woman.
Wow, I agree.
Yeah,
I'm about them to take some notes.
like, I'm not going to troll. I'm not going to troll. I think that you are, really gorgeous to me, and I'd really love to spend some time to get to know you intentionally.
Wow.
Like, would you consider going out on a date with me?
Well, with this approach and these words, I definitely would.
You would. All right. So what time is available
End
for you?
scene. Oh, wait.
No. It continues. It continues, man. You can't leave it there, so. You can't leave it there, so. Because remember, I had included the word intentionality.
Yeah.
So you have to continue along that trend. So
let me just check my calendar.
All right.
Get back to you. I'm looking at it and it looks like this Sunday.
This Sunday.
Is
around what time would you say?
Well, after church, obviously.
After church,
so
night.
I don't know if you want to come to church with me or you just want to just do like 3 o'clock?
I mean, I have my own church I have to attend to as well. And as a member of the audiovisual team myself, I can't particularly miss this Sunday.
Okay.
So I have to be there for my church in that particular way and serve my church. But I would definitely be interested in doing
3 o'clock?
3 o'clock.
All right, no problem.
3 o'clock should be good.
Okay.
You seem to be more of like an outgoing person. Like, so you wouldn't mind doing a little bit of, an outdoorsy vibe maybe? Or you prefer indoors?
I would not mind that.
Would you like to do like activities per se?
I feel like I'm trying to get to know you. So, I mean, I feel like activities wouldn't be bad.
Activities wouldn't be bad.
Yeah.
All right. So I know a place in Portmore that does like roller skating. And they open up on, so let's for example, let's say it open up on Sunday, and they open up on Sundays until probably about 7, 8, 10 o'clock. So if we go by 3 o'clock, we should be good. We should have most of the space to ourselves. They have, music running and all that stuff. We can go, we can enjoy ourselves, and then it's on the Pomer Mall, so we can get something to eat right after. Or before, right after, because we don't want to upset the dolly stomach before.
Yeah, the dolly. Yeah, man, that's fine. I mean, I'd have to work out, getting there, getting back home, and I want
so you don't have to worry about that. My so what I plan to do is to either A, pick you up, B, arrange for a ride for you.
I would love that.
Or C, give you the opportunity to get there on your own, so that you don't feel restricted to have to depend on me.
I could use upper.
Guys, for those who are listening,
3 feels good to me.
For those who are listening, Marcel is taking him literally pop out him seek notebook.
Just come on YouTube, guys. If you want to really see, go on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
Watch this on YouTube.
All right, cool. So you prefer option C, where you find your way there.
Right.
All right, so I'll let you know where exactly it is, and I'll send you the instructions. And that would be it for that particular conversation for me. And I'll let you know the details later on. Now, what I would do next is later on in the date, later on in the week, as we're getting closer. Let's say I'm gonna link you the first Sunday, and then the Sunday after that, the second Sunday after that. That's when we're going out. Cause say church structure, you have first Sunday, second Sunday, third Sunday. You have youth Sunday. Yeah. So, so second Sunday we're going on this particular date, right?
On the date, no. Yes.
No. We don't reach the date. We don't reach the date. So
pre-date activities.
So this is a week before that we've established this, dynamic as, all right, we're going on this date. We've both shown interest in you like me like you, and we're going to see what we can do. Yeah. All right. So this is what I would do, and this without her knowing that I'm going to do this. I would do one of two things. I would already either have her number, rather, more than likely, I would probably give her my number and be like, hey, you can reach out to me. Especially if there's a time online. If I reach out to you through the DMs, I'm going to be like, and we'll have a great conversation. I'll be like, yo, whenever you want to link me, here is my number. And we can start things out. Usually, man them. Zoom in, yes. Focus, yes, sir. Man them. That usually works like a charm. You give the lady that you're interested in, who also is interested in you, your number, so that she doesn't feel pressured to have to receive messages or phone calls from you.
Yeah, she says so.
Allow her, put the ball in her court. Make she show the interest. You see me, I say. Usually by the same evening or the next day,
there's a message
you get a message coming in. Or I'd collect her email, or I'd do both. Now that we've established mode of contact within the coming days, closer to the day of the date. So let's say by Friday, I would, and along continuous conversation and think I was still getting to know each other. I would go to my laptop, open up my laptop, go to Canva, find a nice invite template, and I would create a date invite.
No man, please take the notes. Marcel have the notes, and so you can check the caption.
Canva.com.
Yeah, you can download the app. Canva sponsor.
And what I would do is, based on what we have agreed to, I would put that on the invite, and then I'd throw in a little fun, but like, all right, cool, the itinerary. This is what we're going to do at X time, and then this is what you can expect to bring. Because I know women like information. So you're out here just setting the bar. I'm just raising it. This is the bar. So I'm like, all right, we are going to roller skating. You don't need to dress up fancy, but still dress up and look good. So you're taking lead initiative. Guys, put on your jeans. Make sure you see your dolly up. If you want to do that, if you can find the foundation with sweat through as often. Or you could just do skincare, put on your sunscreen. By the way, speaking of foundation and them something, we will now take a break for our sponsors. Faces by Joe. There we go.
Joe.
You know what I mean? Faces by Joe is sponsoring today's podcast by being here, literally. As you can see, if we were to zoom in into her face, it is really good. Like, I am attracted to her face right now because it looks so good. You see me? I say smooth. You know what I mean? You go check out her IG page. I'll link it in the description below, and on the screen you'll see it pop up. Mad thing. So back to the date.
So you're intentional.
I'm very intentional.
Yeah.
And I'll send that via both in email and by WhatsApp. So I'd create a PDF and send that out.
Okay. Send it out. Right, send it out.
Cool.
Send it out.
So that's how dating has been for you.
And that's just pre-date.
Okay.
When the date come and things are going, I'm usually... So personally, I like to spend more than 2 to 3 hours. I like to spend about 2-3 hours minimum on my dates. Because I want to be able to see you in action, multiple facets of the day. Not just for an hour over dinner. Everybody hungry. Like...
If it's not a meal ticket, that's what I'm trying to say.
Look here, you're not...
Salvation Army is that way.
Jesus. We are better for Christ. Please cut out this part of the
Look how me just go back to my singing. Wade in the water.
Yeah, so dating.
Yeah, man. So we'll go up on the date and we'll enjoy ourselves. We'll talk about things. We, set expectations, because the conversations that we'll be having will be very intentional. And I'm going to definitely let you know that.
Oh, this is on the date
This
now.
is on the date now and beyond.
On.
Make sure you say write that down. Write that down.
No, seriously, need to know some master right down.
No, man, like the man have like
check the caption.
Like on the date, I am definitely like asking these intentional questions personally. But nothing too deep, but more like setting the expectation.
Yeah, because I think we need to realize that as Christians, not only as Christians, but just as persons who are looking for a life partner, that dating is about getting information. You have to get this information to determine if this is what it is that you can settle with. And I think key to that is knowing yourself, because if you don't know yourself, you can't just settle for anything.
Right.
Hey.
By the way, man them, please note, me not spend $5,000 on the date yet.
No?
You not have to broke the bank to impress a woman. You don't. Man them. Transportation now cost you $5,000 if you don't take a cab.
Don't have
like,
to.
If you don't drive, yeah man, that show you going out of the dog, out of the bag from a start. from a start. Sorry producer she, but look here, man them, ease out. You don't need to spend so much money to impress a woman. All you need is intentionality, effort, and consistency. But anyway,
dating.
I'm done with my aspect of what it would look like for me.
Well, for me, I think I would value somebody who is intentional. As I had said in the earlier podcast, I don't think I'm at the stage in life where I want to waste my time. So if it is that you're interested, I would want you to be honest to say I'm interested in you. We can say, okay, what's going on here? And I think most of the things that Omari said are things that I would appreciate if I'm dating somebody. So yeah, my own.
And for a free ebook on dating, get to know you, link us in the DM.
Yeah, don't worry.
Thank you.
The people that still have them ebook always.
But dislike all of my friends them.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that I've had to learn, having been coached and mentored, is that dating is really information gathering.
Yeah.
Dating. Yes, they have the dates and the cool dates, but you have to be intentional.
Right.
You have to be intentional about knowing who it is that you are.
And I like that you bring it up, like what dating is supposed to be, because there's so many misconceptions in terms of what it should look like or what it shouldn't be. And it's really important to know what you're going into. But what are some of the misconceptions that you believe people enter this space thinking? I know, like, for one, people.
God told me to tell you that you are my wife. Man them, stop it. Stop it.
Bone of my bone, fresh.
Stop it. God never tell you nothing.
You're not gonna stop the violence?
God never tell
It's
you
not
nothing.
the spirit of the Lord, it's gas.
It's gas.
Try some chamomile tea. Like.
Or some ginger tea.
Or some ginger.
Go over your grandmother, yeah, go drink some ginger.
Producer we can't get up.
Make you go fix you some ginger tea. It is not the spirit, it's just gas.
It's just gas.
Trust me. Like, stop
Stop
calling Stop it. Stop treat the young girl,
Young girl, stop listening to them things there.
Stop be a menke. Stop be a menke.
Man clown.
Stop it. The yamadry not working.
Oh geez.
The yamadry not working for both man and woman. Cause woman do it too. Okay. As a matter of fact, no, I'm not getting at that. I promised my producer that I'm not going to. So I'm not going to. I'm going to stay outside.
I think if you fling the shoes, it never. You don't understand if you fling the shoes, eh?
So here's another controversial one. That the man always need to make the first move.
Ladies.
How do you feel about this? But Jody, how you feel about that?
What happened was, I feel like, excuse me. I think, personally, I would appreciate if you made the first move. But I think there are things that you can do or a way how you can be and carry yourself around somebody that you're interested in that can encourage him to, not encourage him, but to signal to him that there is an interest. So, like, if him approach, him never get shut down because there is something, there is like a banter, how you relate to him, stuff like that, that can, it be like him, you're doing it, you kind of making him know, like, yeah, come talk to me. Okay. I personally would want the man to make the first move because I think, just for me personally, to know that you're actually interested. I feel like in church circles, sometimes we tend to take somebody's niceness to mean that, oh my God, him pick up the chair for me, him give him a Bible, that means say...
Okay, the 6th chair pick up work, you know.
I don't know.
The 6th chair... Okay, when a man says so, I lift up 6 of them chair, and I walk with the 6th chair them.
Listen, you sit down. Pretty that she please to make sure that we don't get in trouble. We're innocent here. Yeah.
Go for the 6 chairs. If
right,
you can pick up 8, do it.
Listen, that's why I want him to approach me because I don't want to mistake your kindness for interest where there's no interest and then I'm in this loop. Well, that's not me anymore, but I know that they're in their past where that has been me and it has been other young ladies that I know where this gentleman is just really just being a gentleman. He's been helpful. He is not a drunk girl. So he's not a bad guy.
No man, drunk girl.
To all our international listeners, that means so I would want that clarity for him to say to me, you know what, I'm intentionally pursuing you, I like you, let's see where this can go. From that perspective.
So him being clear with his words.
Right, and so you know what you're gonna tell me, the smile man, I message me every day and then my man say, what are we? We are farmers.
No. I'm a favorite line that you see, man.
No.
Yeah, I'm a favorite line that. Yo. So what you say is intentionality from men.
Yeah.
I think a misconception that a lot of women have is it is easy for men to approach women.
Yes.
Where, like, as a man, we've been through so many tiers of rejection. Like, not even number of rejection, you know, different tiers of rejection.
The dreaded friend zone.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. And then you have the but I go in it. But I go in it because I go show a different side of me. But I do particular the times Jesus never did for the cross. For that.
Just what it's true.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But like just the thought that we too do not
have feelings.
Like we have feelings, and it takes a lot of courage for us to get in a frame of mind to then approach you. Not because we're intimidated by you. Majority of the man them don't like, that's not even the first thought in our minds. The first thought is, all right, am I good enough to present myself, much less to present myself to someone who is, you know, a godly one. And we're strictly talking about godly people right now. Like, am I good enough? Am I secure within myself to then approach somebody? Once again, strictly talking about godly people. Because we've made that distinction
Yeah.
So like that, just that thought that we don't, just because we do it often doesn't mean that we don't have to face the same sort of uncertainty.
Do you think because we do it so often it's taken for granted?
I think so, personally.
Just get rejected and you're
I personally think that we are like, just the thought of approaching a woman or just like making the first move is taken for granted, which then as I see it, makes women not as
appreciative.
No, not necessarily, but like they aren't particularly eager to show similar interest. So like me approach you, Jody, I'm like, hey, I'd like to get to know you. And you're like, all right, cool. But like you're very tentative. You're not going to flirt with me after my day I flirt out. Heck. Can I say hell on this podcast? I feel like I can say hell. Can I? Producer she. Yeah? Alright, it's acceptable. Like my day I flirt out hell. I put in the lyrics like I wanna be the Abraham to your Sarah.
Period.
Like them kind of lyrics. Like I wanna be the Jacob to your Rebecca.
Come in, 14 years to the thing.
You know what I mean?
You want to be the cocoa bread nerd, tasty chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The butter to your bread.
Period. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Lyrics, and the girl just was say, okay. I'm garbage.
All right. I'll think about it. We can
left
talk about
you unseen on the Insta street.
Okay. But we're not getting that.
We're not getting the feelings. We're not getting the feelings.
So you guys feel like that is kind of taken for granted.
I think so. At least I do. What do you think? What you guys think would be another misconception? One from producer she. Another misconception of dating.
I think okay, so while producer she's talking, I'll say that we feel like when we're dating, that dating has to lead to marriage. It has to.
Come on.
Like,
preach.
The next person that I meet is gonna be my husband.
Preach.
And then you see all the red flag. Please to insert the meme with Wally Bridges that said red flag. You see 300,000 red flag there, girl. I don't mix that in there bangarang. God no dead on the cross for that.
I believe that is the case because we are not rushing to marriage, but rushing to sex.
True. Because rushing to marriage is rushing to service.
Me want sex. The power of sex is a mighty thing, especially for women. But we're not going to go into it right now.
But let's just say it would be an even mightier thing with the right person for you.
Amen.
The right person for you.
Within the context of which it was originally designed for. Yeah, man.
For you.
I assume it is amazing. I assume because I've never been married.
Your phrase, I'm going to say, right person for you.
Right. Zin? What would that talk about?
Moving to relationship now. We're talking about dating.
Mad thing.
Phases of
right.
Dating.
And you have a bunch of other misconceptions. You guys let us know. What misconceptions do we have of dating as Christians? And we'll move on to the next question. Or next part of the next stage.
Courtship and
relationship. And it kind of ties into dating itself, where I think we've kind of moved from a culture of arranged marriages as Christians. If we're thinking of like early day Christians, where they would have the Jewish culture and cultures outside of the Jewish culture, because majority of Christians are Gentiles. Most cultures had the arranged marriage setup.
17th century Britain.
And then we're now transitioning to a place where we don't have a particular family structure that allows for arranged marriages to flourish. No, I'm not saying arranged marriages are a bad thing, but for them to be beneficial,
to work like how they worked in the past,
right? Yeah. Because if we make it here today, it means some arranged marriages worked in the past. For them to work, there's a particular context and culture to which we are not experienced in the West. So that's why we have dating now. But
the relationship step.
So usually we jump from. So before dating and relationships, we jump from family make you family, meet the next family, arrange marriage, married and done. Or that's my assumption. Now we have got through this whole process: interest, dating, relationship, then engagement, then marriage. What is courtship and relationship?
Married man.
Okay. So after you've dated, after your shopper courts or coronation market, whoever it did work out for.
I want to know about coronation
market.
Look
here, coronation market have some good goods.
Yes, we're not
like
knocking coronation market. Yeah, everybody go down there.
I was just about to say something that was not.
Wow. Let the Spirit of the Lord guide you.
Good. Yeah, so after, you've gone through that process of dating, you've gotten to a point where you know somebody well enough, or you believe you know somebody well enough. This is now you signaling to that person that you want to take things more serious. You're now looking to enter a space where you're now looking to marriage. See? You're still not at marriage yet. See? But it's now a space beyond dating, because dating would have tackled maybe some heavy topics, but either on the surface or just below. I'm not really gonna dive too deep in it because we don't have the space to explore that. And so I believe, signaling like this courtship level is, I want to know you because I believe there's a possibility that exists between us getting married and living our days together. So I want to get to know you like that now, and that's what courtship signals, I believe. And there is really no accepted time for that space, because I've seen friends who've been in that space less than a year and gotten married, and I've seen friends who've been in that space for close to a decade before getting married.
Facts.
So I can't.
Not going to be me though. I can't tell you that for sure. Look here, the sex is real. The sex is real.
Producer, she can't take him on.
We pray for our brother. May the dove descend like an extinguisher and just out him little bit. Wait, so
continue.
So there's no like, it's not a one size fit all. You can't go, oh yeah man, courtship are gonna be 6 months or 8 months, or because you might enter that space and find out
no, this is not it.
Maybe some things we have to go talk through a little bit more before, because the truth of the matter is marriage is a serious step, and you don't want to go into marriage with questions and doubts, like significant doubts. You won't figure out all of it, but you don't want, as you said, 3,000 red flag. See, you don't want it.
Hey, you unlock a serious memory for me, allow me to remember about my red flag. Yo, red flag.
Please.
Hey, you use that with everything,
And so this is the space where you iron out all of those doubts. Premarital counseling is like driving lessons. You'll not get to go through everything in premarital counseling. So
like you need to just get your license and just go on the road.
Right? And the truth of the matter is, this is also where your community now comes in. Is an opportunity for your community and her community to get to know each other better, because a lot of times you guys will be at different churches, and so she will have a community around her, you will have a community around you. Invite her to church one Sunday.
And also, they're not in love.
Right.
They're not in love, or lust, or whatever it is that wherever you are right now. So there's certain things that you kind of red flag. They may explain, no, man, just because she have a father who, not that there's no space for grace there, but there's a way that persons around us, our community, can see things that we would overlook, or we're willing to explain away, and with them can stop us and say, no, Omari, no, Jody, slow down.
Right. And, take heed to what your community is actually saying to you, because I assume the people around you would care about you.
Right.
Right? So if they must say to you, yo, I see this, I really think you should talk to her about this, or talk to him about this, or as Jody says, slow down a little bit and really reevaluate where you guys are. Like, listen to the people that are around you, because they make sense.
Because are you and them are married, Hello, when fight a busting at the house, we not gonna there. Me go cuddle up with my man.
As it should be.
It's not come for hard life.
As it should be.
With nobody boy child.
As it should be.
It's not hard life with the people them, so. And so that's what I believe courtship and relationship look like.
Yeah.
I have a question. What do you believe? How does one determine, when it is right to enter into a courtship and / relationship, and to then move from that stage, into marriage?
So during the dating phase, you would have gotten some information, as Jody says, information gathering. You'd have gotten some. People are at different phases. People move at different paces as well. So you would have gotten some level of information on this person that you've been dating to determine where they are. So during the dating phase, you might say, "Hey, so, what are your thoughts on marriage?" And she'll say, "I'm not see marriage before I'm 32. I really want to get school out of the way. I want to get."
Sorry, how old is this person? How old is this person?
They're 25 now. They say they're 25. And then I say to you, "No, maybe not marriage before 32. Because I want to get my masters or my 2 masters and my PhD out of the way. And this is really what
Why, baby girl?
If you know, say, you want to get married next year, maybe she's not the one for you. Do not enter a relationship with this young lady and not pressure her.
I am not the one.
You're not ready for married. 2 years we know this now. Don't do it.
I am not the one. Me have a 6 month to 2 year
period. Retainer.
So you should not enter into a relationship with somebody who is saying, "Yo, the next 5 years I'm dedicating to this part of my life."
Sorry, but you know, not a lot of persons are like that. A lot of persons are more focused on, I need 5 years to get to know you. And personally, I think that is BS.
And you should not be with those persons either. Zin?
Sorry.
Because the truth of the matter is not simply going, do you want to get married? It should be a solid yes.
Right.
Even if you not have everything figured out,
right,
it should be a solid yes.
Right.
Right? And so if you are with somebody who's saying, "I just want to spend these 5 years getting to know somebody," and say you can't wait 5 years, don't.
What we know? What we're knowing? Look here, the person that I'm going to be in 3 years' time is too different from what me is now.
Yeah, that's true.
Choose me and done. But fam, well, look here. Here's my thing, Zine. We are all going to be going through different stages of life, right? And those different stages are going to obviously change us, or it may not. It may not. But we are going to be going through different stages of life. Unless that particular stage is preventing us from getting into a marriage, i.e., finances, because we're spending most of the money with school, or we're mother just in a hospital and we have to spend a lot of our money helping to care for that or mother or that relative, or like some sort of situation where I am going through a deep therapy session and I can't particularly break that cycle right now to spend the time arranging to get married. I want to get through that first. Then I can understand in that way. All right, cool. I'll sit and wait with you, not on you. There's a difference. I will sit and wait with you through this, and we will go through this together. Don't come to me with no BS about,
well,
I need to wait 5 years to get to know you, the different facets of you.
There can be merit to waiting. So, all right, I'll say this. Who you are, so university was one phase of life, right?
University don't count, dog.
But not for we are 25 when we're in a university.
That is also
masters
true.
And other things, right?
That is also true.
When you leave university, the person who was in university who had, that structure, versus the person who is now living on their own, figuring out life as you go, is a totally different person. So me doing my masters cannot write a check that me now living on my own cannot cash. See? Because the things I would have wanted, second year at UA versus masters in UA versus now on my own working, will change.
Right, but here's the thing. I am there with you at the time at which you are the second year at UA versus masters versus, and that was I was saying about the changing seasons. Like if I'm there with you while you are going through these things, and we both want marriage, if it is that we are waiting on a particular season to settle down, to then get married, the likelihood that will happen is much smaller. Because it's not like this world is not going to come without its own fair shares of struggles and trials.
Oh, yeah, man, totally.
You see me? So if it is, so I'm not saying that waiting is not valuable, and I'm not saying that waiting isn't beneficial, because it is. I totally believe that, and you need a time period to really and truly get to know someone.
All right, let's rework it from waiting.
Let me just finish the point. But I believe that we need to start to think about how intentional and how much we want to choose to be with this particular person while they are going through these things on both sides, because not just I'm not the only person be with you, you're also with me going through these things, and then choosing to stick with that. Right.
So let's rework it from waiting, because waiting sounds like we're just idly allowing time to pass, right? Which should not be the case for the relationship phase. No. Right? It should be you now going you're entering this space because you both have the hopes that it will be leading to marriage. We're not talking about the dating phase right now. We're talking about the relationship phase. If you've entered this phase, you both now have the hopes that it will lead to marriage, right? So this is the space where we start working through
deeper issues.
Right, deeper issues. So where is your career leading you? I mean, I've had friends where they were in a relationship, but his career changed. And now his career now led him to travel all across the world. And girl was like, yeah, this is not going to work out for me. Because he would be doing...
all right, cool.
Wow, no.
I mean, it sounded like a very similar story.
Right?
Sorry, guys.
And so...
Why move, grass?
No, but it's not fixing.
Yeah, so he would not be home a lot because he'd be on the road traveling a lot. And she's saying, this don't sound like stability to me, right? It sounds like I'm going to end up playing kind of like a single mother if we have kids and things like that. And these are the real tough things that you have to work through in this relationship space. I get that. Right? Things like finances, which
it's a huge thing.
Major thing in relationships. Huge thing. Like the person you are with, you don't see spending habits right away. You don't see that during dating. You don't see budgeting and spending habits during dating.
Like, I need to spend off my tree goat, them done.
Right. So, is he someone or is she someone who is frugal with their money, or them just until it done?
Make it
right? Like, who are they? And can you put up with that? So, I don't ever believe that you will be able to be in a season where everything is perfect, but you should be able to look on someone, a situation, and go, I'm willing to commit to that. Right? And until you can answer that, you can't move on, or you shouldn't move on, I believe. So that might take 6 months, that might take 5 years.
Ladies, I'm not the one. If you want to sit down and wait for 5 years,
it's not this one.
I'm not the one.
But when I hear from Jody, talk to him, man. What you feel? Like 6 months, 5 years, 10 years, where are we?
Alright, so I personally don't believe in the 10 years, 5 years situation.
It's a compound interest.
Okay.
Fix the point.
Okay, so I think a lot of stuff that was said, I can agree with. I think everything is really dependent on your age and your stage in life. If I was 25, I could probably say, well, yeah, man, I'm willing to wait and go to 5 years. But I'm not 25, and I think I'm more surety, and I'm more intentional where I can say, okay, I can ask these questions, I can go about it this type of way.
So what you're saying is that there are many different factors.
There are many different factors that play a role, but I think what I would want to say is, I think we don't need to do it right now, but I think an important point in this discussion is to know that self-awareness is key to dating and relationships. You have persons who know or they're unaware that they're unwilling to wait for 5 years. And they still wait, and if it doesn't pan out to marriage, there's this big, I was wronged, I was deceived, I was hoodwinked, bamboozled. But you made that decision to stay for that amount of time.
Right.
You have some persons who 2 years to 6 months might be a little too soon for them. But because it is, as Marcel say, no, not for Amari, because the man over here say, why you draw my check?
Look here.
And then you check my draw, sir.
Sex is real.
Or you have some persons, oh God, Omar, I don't know, because you may say something and then you go, I'm not fighting when I say this, you know. I'm not fighting when I say this, yeah, bro. you have some persons who are rushing to sex and not marriage. And may I tell you, say, if a sex alone you go marriage for, is a rude awakening. Because first of all, sex don't come with instructions and the same self-awareness where they have to practice before, and the same awareness they have to go practice with going forward. Everything in marriage and relationships is a learning process. So being aware of yourself and then committing to learning that other person and then serving that other person and realizing, say, all right, so we're done have sex, I'm gonna drop the style, I'm gonna flip you up and whatever. So
flip you on the left.
Listen, I love you. You listen to me, behave, the audience, please to comment and say that your sister girl I behave. Audience listeners, may I behave myself. The reality is, okay, purpose. What are our goals? What are our values? What are our mindsets like attacking certain things? Because what is the purpose of the relationship? Is it to meet my need and to have sex and to position and whatever? Or as Christians, we know that marriage is more than just flesh. It is, there's a reason why Christ called us into marriage. There's a reason why he uses marriage to establish families and then go on to the other things for his kingdom. And we're discussing this from the Christian perspective. So it cannot just be sex, or sometimes not even last for an hour. So I heard, I cannot tell you as some needed ear. But yeah, that's how I look at the relational phase. Really, I think relationships to me is still information gathering on a deeper perspective, because there's a level of vulnerability that you're gonna have to display. I want to talk about my ears and I should myself.
But just say no comment. Me just no comment.
Yeah, none at all.
We are hoping that the Lord will enable you and empower you to go on, brothers, on the road of stamina.
It's because
this is going left, so let me just bring it back.
And I'm not going to answer that.
Let me bring it back. I think as Christians, we have to taking out with the sex element for right now.
Yes.
Taking out the element of sex,
because
sex is important, and we
know
that.
There's a glory behind it,
right? But let's not. We are not only focusing on sex here. The man them not only focused on sex. I know.
Is not focusing on sex.
Period.
Look here. Let me make a disclaimer. Look here. Let me just make a disclaimer. I am the one. I am the one. Me, Omari J. Harris. Look here. I will admit it. Look here. The sex is real.
Right.
I will forever promote that. But I agree with your point. It is more than that. It is more than that.
And as Christians, having that godly standard in your marriage and relationship, what I have learned is that even in relationship, you're still gathering information.
Yes.
Because first of all, using this analogy, you are my friend. Depending on the type of friend that you are, I might invite you to my gate. A different friend, I might invite into my living room or on my veranda. Somebody else I'm going to invite to sit down at the foot of my bed and we talk. Somebody might just can't lie on the bed.
There are levels to this.
As we date, you're progressing
further and further into the heart of another person.
So you didn't realize I'm good with money, but then you realize I'm about he or she, guys, please, we're not attacking no specific gender. They have a problem with masturbation and porn.
I'm going to not do the actions I'm supposed to do.
Or you realize, them have a family dynamic where you can't get behind. Or them family might treat you in such a certain way where you say, this is uncomfortable for me.
Your theology is different.
Or your theology is different. Suppose you're Sabbath on Saturday and mine Sabbath Sunday.
I have had experience with that.
Jesus, so you never get over me.
To be very honest with you,
so
it's a very interesting dynamic. It's a very interesting dynamic.
So I know that the Bible talks about not going and laying down. The God does not put a prostitute and his child together. And yes, that is used in terms of yoked and unequally yoked. Paul make mention of that. But I think even we can extend that to an extent to the beliefs that we hold. Because not every flavor of Christian are the same flavor.
Preach.
So you have to get behind the flavor where work for you and they can build a life together. Because trust me, I don't have sex with her, but she'll tell her fitness say she can go out in a battery rider shot. Suppose you don't want to fear that.
I mean,
Suppose you don't want to feel that, sir. Suppose that is really a thing where if you as a man, it's just like, I can't endorse that. After she done bust the style, where you going to say to her, Amari?
Watch your boy with the tree that today.
No, Mighty! Hello? Guys, this is only an example. Yeah, but in a sense, what was stepping a while ago. But guys, I'm just trying to bring back not bring back, but kind of just tie the conversation that we're having to the godly aspect of it. I think we have to be aware of ourselves. We have to be aware of our purpose. We have to know those things because you're making a decision now for your future. Mm. And so you want to ensure that you make the best possible decision with the information that you have. Right? You know
yeah. Let me just throw in look at Jesus in there, you know.
Oh. Don't know the 6.
Sorry, I'm so sorry guys. I'm a decent person in real life.
You don't want me to wrap up.
Wrap it up.
You don't want me to bring Jesus into sex. Trust me. Because I will do it.
Wrap up. So go left, wrap up.
But, just to try and tie a little bit of Jesus into it. You had brought up some really good points in terms of like just focusing on what is important. And the scripture that we had based in the discussion on if you haven't seen the scripture, it is Ephesians 5. You know the scripture where everybody turned to 21 verses. Ephesians 5 verses 21 to it done. And in verse 32 where it says this is a great mystery, but it is an illustration of the way Christ and the church are one. And I'm not going to go into depth with it right now because literally marriage is a whole topic for itself on its own. I mean, look here. I can talk about marriage as a single man. I can talk about marriage as a single man, but we're not getting into that. We don't have time for it, but yeah, man. But just to kind of bring this all around, as much as we may have we have opposing views as to how to go about dating and what it leads to. Ultimately, if it does not eventually mirror what the relationship between Christ and the church, then you're doing it wrong. If it ultimately does not bring God glory, if it ultimately does not have that relational dynamic, then what is the point of dating? What is the point of getting into a relationship? What is the point of becoming engaged? Which we actually haven't touched on, by the way, but we're not going to bother because that's, once again, a whole nother podcast episode. But like, what we should aim to look at and not necessarily use as the outright template, but it should lead towards this, is that if me and you in a things, Jody, Zine, and the way in which I find interest in you, yeah man, you look good and I appreciate you, but rather I talk to you in a way that is not degrading of you. You had brought up Ephesians 4, where it spoke about bring it up, how it speaks about to the calling which we've been called humility and great gentleness and patience and bearing one another in love, all that kind of stuff. I don't know my Bible like that, guys. Is literally it on the screen. But like, if we are not, while we're in the interest phase, treating each other like that, Jody, then what's the point? If it is that as a man, I am not looking towards becoming a husband, if I'm not looking towards eventually, I'm not saying no while we're in this relationship phase, because we're not called to be husbands before we're husbands. Right. So we're not called to lead any woman before we're becoming married. But if I cannot see myself leading this woman, if I cannot see myself submitting myself to God and to her, in a particular structure that God has deemed as holy, then what's the point of me dating you? If I cannot outrightly look at this woman and say, and I'm just speaking from my side, because as a man, if I cannot outrightly look at this woman and see her submitting to God and then to me, But not to me because, you know, me are the boss and me are the man. No, but because that is just the structure in which God has ordained things, and it is reflecting of how God's relationship with us is. If she cannot submit to God in that way, what's the sense of me dating her? Like, yeah, you look good. Yeah, you go to church. But what else? And ultimately, it is like, if I not see Jesus in you, then I don't want it. That's
a very good note, I think, to end on.
Wait, so we can put on the pen, yes, sir?
Yeah, man, we can put on the pen, right, yes, sir. Jody, I can't thank you.
Guys, it has been a wonderful 2 episodes.
Guys, Jody there from about 5 o'clock.
Look here, and this is now like to 10.
It is now minutes to 10. A vibe from 5 o'clock.
Yeah, man. Like it's been an amazing conversation that we've had with you, Jody.
It's been good to have a conversation.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. It's always vibes. It's always vibes when you come around.
Yeah, guys, so your makeup, anything we need for makeup, wedding, you know, birthday shoot, anything at all.
A random Saturday when you want to go out and feel yourself and be like a whole dolly.
After Omar J sending the invites, the Canva invite.
Hey, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Use code Omar J at checkout. Yeah, I'm an affiliate. Link. You get a 10% discount.
Link in the bio, guys. Link in the bio.
Link in the bio. Please check the bio.
Please. It helps with the channel.
Right. It helps with the channel, you know?
And with that note, guys, check us out on all socials, which is Real and Julie. Just Instagram at Unscripted Convos. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Like this video, it really and truly does help with all the analytics and something.
Watch the video, enough.
Subscribe, tell your friends, share it with a friend, share it to the youth group, share it in a church, share it to your family group. Look here. Look here, if you look here, it's a good conversation starter.
It really is.
Share it the man where you look or the woman where you look, depending on if you're a man or a woman. Like, do all the things them. You see me I say. And yeah, that's us. We're signing out literally. And
till next week.
You know what I mean? Monday, same time, 12 p.m. Out. Big up yourself. Yeah. Big up on yourself.
Big up yourself.
I'm just gonna cut that out. Yeah. Because that was a verbal mistake.
Alright, sex God.